Hey, my name is Caleb Lindsay. Today's date is April 26th, 2026. So I'm starting a little bit late on this project, but this is going to be my week 5 assignment for FTH 223. Again, but then before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and clear our firearm. So remove the feed source, nothing in the magazine. I'm going to lock the slide to the rear and visually and physically inspect the chamber, and there's nothing in there, so we're clear. All right, so now where I'm at in the process is, well, first off, I went ahead and assessed the feel of the firearm, kind of like last time, but this time I was focusing more on like the main action components, like slide to frame feel, the trigger bar, and the hammer contact areas, stuff like that. It doesn't feel bad, but it does feel a little bit gritty. It's not as smooth as I would like it. So then I disassembled it. I applied all of the Prussian blue on there. I somehow stained my fingers on accident, and I went ahead and started working the action back and forth. And now I'm going to go ahead and take it apart and see where all of my wear is going to be at, so I can start cleaning up those areas. Okay, so after disassembling again, I found that most of my wear is almost exactly what the lecture was talking about. So focusing on the slide first, because that's going to be my first chunk of work. I found that the rails obviously have a lot of contact, so I'm going to be kind of cleaning those up. I'm not really going to be removing much material, but I just want that contact area to slide together more evenly. Firing pin stop had wear on it, a little bit on the lugs, locking lugs, and then the breech face. But looking at the lecture from this week, I'm just going to do like a little bit of light stoning. I don't really want to move much material on that. I don't want to mess up my timing and my headspace. Okay, so also with the slide, I was looking at the barrel, and it was kind of areas that I already assumed were going to have wear on them, or markings in that Prussian blue. Stuff like the locking slot down on the bottom had a little bit on the inside of there, locking lugs, and then just because of like the lecture materials that we've got, I kind of wanted to work on the feed ramp and then lightly polish like the forward end of the barrel. There wasn't a whole lot of wear on it. I want to try to make this action as smooth as I possibly can, just to see what I can do with this firearm. And then I did find 2 more spots that I want to work on, which is the hammer face, which both of these I worked on last week, but I want to kind of like more, I guess like kind of fine tune contact areas. It would be like the hammer face, and then like on the trigger bar, the 2 humps on there. I'll lightly polish my rails. I want to lightly polish my slide stop. So I just wanted to point out in doing this, I'm not really trying to change the geometry of any of these components, nor do I want to change the dimensions. Really, I just want to clean up all of my contact surfaces just to make everything function smoother. So like right here on my firing pin stop, I was just cleaning up this area right here on the bottom, just to make the operation of my firearms as smooth as possible. Pretty much done with the slide, and I've got it all put back together. So I've gone ahead and polished up everything I think I can. I cleaned up the breech face a little bit with my stone. And on the rails, like on the bottom side and on the inside of these things, I polished it. I mean, just using the, the Dremel there. But I didn't go too far. I just wanted to smooth it out. I didn't actually take the finish off in most cases. But yeah. So I think I'm done with the slide. I'm going to move on to the barrel now. For the barrel, I didn't go too crazy on it. I did polish up the actual barrel. I polished up a lot of the lug, the locking lug on top, and then the lug where my slide stop rests. So I'm going to do that next. And then I did the feed ramp. I did like a high polish on that one. I was really going for wasn't like high polish on everything, What I was going for was really smooth interaction between the locking lugs on the slide and the barrel. And then my next big goal on there, other than the high polish on the feed ramp, was just really good interaction between the slide stop and locking lugs. So just because I was curious what the feel was going to be like with just the work that I put in, so before I even got to my trigger bar and the houses on here to clean up the slide rails there, it's already way better. I think that I got rid of more friction than I had anticipated to begin with. So let's keep going. So I made a mistake, and when I thought I was recording, I just took 2 pictures on accident, but it's already back together. I'm going to see if we can see in there decently, but I went ahead and polished up the top of the humps on the the trigger bar, and then I lightly polished up the front housing rails and the back housing rails. I went ahead and did the hammer face. I did not like a high polish, but I did polish that a little bit more just because I know that that's going to be making a lot of contact with the slide as it reciprocates. I did a light polish on my slide stop. I feel like I need to keep cleaning that up though. I still have stuff on it. But I went ahead and polished that up. So the last thing I want to do is go ahead and I'm going to disassemble my magazine. I'm going to get the top of that and then clean up the follower. So I feel like it's going to be hard to show this, but what I did with the magazine, the front lips on here is what I cleaned up on that, and then on the follower, I basically just got rid of that jagged edge on the top there and smoothed it out a lot. So we'll put that back together and see how everything feels now. So for the final part of part 1, I went ahead and reassembled the entire firearm. I reassessed the feel of it, and yeah, I think that, it wasn't that much work really either. I feel like the majority of my time out here was mostly spent on reassembly of the pistol itself, but I can tell you that with just cleaning up all of the surfaces that I know that are contacting each other, relubricating, this thing actually doesn't feel that bad anymore. After doing all the work that we've done, like last week, not only did we improve like the trigger feel and even the trigger weight, but the overall feel of the firearm now is actually not that bad. I did all of this just stoning, polishing, and very light sanding, using I have like 1500 grit sandpaper. That's all I've got at the house, so I was using that a little bit. And again, yeah, I didn't really change the geometry of anything. I was just cleaning surfaces, making everything move together a little more cleanly. So yeah, I feel confident in doing this kind of work for customers. This is not that difficult, and I think that it actually improves the feel of these firearms dramatically. I feel like most of my time out in the shop today was just disassembly and reassembly, and then the actual polishing of the firearm. It didn't take that much work, especially using like a Dremel and stuff like that, and the stone. Everything worked perfectly. So yeah, that's it. That's my final assignment.